Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. So first of all, guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps, and close our eyes. When you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And we can begin by stretching up high to the sky. And then let's go down low, touch our toes. Now back up high again. And this time, can we go tippy toe high? And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And then back down to touch our toes again. Excellent, guys. Now let's have a little shake. Arms and legs, shake it out. And now we can do some rotations. We'll go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Very good. And now for some stretches. We'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll do 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's have one more shake out, guys. Arms and legs, shake it out. And to finish, we'll do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So who can tell me what we were learning about in our previous math lesson? We've been learning about decimal numbers recently, but we learned about a certain type. Can anybody remember? Mixed decimals, yes. We were learning about mixed decimals. And what that means is we take a whole number and then we have our decimal point, and after that comes our decimal number. And that's what we mean by mixed, a whole number with a decimal number. And I'll demonstrate how now. And the best way to demonstrate is to always draw a chart. So first of all, we'll have our whole number. So we'll have a circle, and our circle will need 10 parts. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, now who can tell me, for our whole number, how many parts of the circle must be coloured? All of them. Excellent. Yes, because it's a whole number, we colour in all of the circle. So I'll just do it very quickly, and we can see there that all of the circle is coloured in. So therefore, it's a whole represented by the number 1. But next comes our decimal point. So we know that any numbers to the left of the decimal point are our whole numbers, like 1. And next will come our decimal numbers. So what we need this time is another circle. And we'll divide it into 10 again. 4, 6, 8, 10. Now this time I will only colour in 1, 2, 3. So who can tell me what our decimal number is? 3. Yes, the decimal number is 3. You see, because we've only got 3 parts of the circle coloured in, so we will represent this with the number 3. So our mixed decimal number in this case is 1.3. Okay, well done guys, well remembered. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to do some more demonstrations and have a student come forward and demonstrate how to understand and write the correct decimal numbers. But first of all, I need to clean the board. But now, let's try for a different decimal number. So always, how many parts to our circle, guys? Always 10, okay? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now this time, we won't have 3. Now let's see who can correctly write the correct decimal number for now. And the pen is with Bangpon. So Bangpon, come and join me at the front of class, please. Okay, so now we're looking at the mixed decimal number. So first of all, we've got the first half. Our whole number is 1. It hasn't changed. All we need to do is look at our decimal number. How many parts of our circle are coloured in, guys? 1. So what's our decimal number? 1.1. So Bangpon will simply write 1. Correct. We've got 1 as the whole number, then the decimal point, followed by the decimal number. In this case, altogether, guys, 1.1. Again, Bangpon. Perfect. High five and a big round of applause for Bangpon, please, guys. Okay, but what we're going to do now is we're going to change the numbers. For our next example, we'll change the whole numbers and we'll also change the decimal numbers. So it's a little bit harder. But first of all, I'll just clean the board again. Okay, so far we've got 1 whole number. But how about okay, this one's a little more difficult. We need to count the whole numbers and then we need to look at the decimal number. So let's see which student can work this one out for me. And now the pen is with Lak Gao. So Lak Gao, come and join me at the front, please. First of all, guys, we need to do our whole number. So who can tell me how many complete circles do we have? 2. So what's our whole number? 2, correct. And then what separates our whole number from our decimal number? Point. The decimal point is always important. So after our whole number, Lak Gao will do the decimal point. Perfect. Now, for the decimal number, we need to count the number of coloured parts in our circle. Lak Gao, how many coloured parts? 5. So what's our decimal number? 5. Excellent. And you can see this is what we mean by mixed decimals. We have our whole number, 1, 2, to the left of the decimal point, and then we have our decimal number, 5, to the right of the decimal point. So altogether, guys, 2.5. One more time, let go. Let go, that's brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for let go, please, guys. But what we're going to do today is we're going to look at place value of decimal numbers, because sometimes we won't just have one decimal number and we won't just have one whole number. We can have more numbers as the whole number, and we can have more numbers as our decimal numbers. So what we need to do, we need to understand the place value of each of our different numbers when we're writing decimals. And that was excellent, guys. That was brilliant. Well done. So what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation for our students to observe, listen to, and also practice speaking how to understand and read correctly the place value of decimal numbers. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look and a listen to our PowerPoint presentation, place value of decimals. Yes, because like I said earlier, when we have a sequence of decimal numbers, we need to know what they all value at. And we'll take a look now. Well, first of all, what number can you see?
27.
Yes. Any decimal points?
No.
No. So this is what we call whole number. 27 is a whole number. It has no decimal places. And we can see that the place values of the whole number, tens and ones. How many tens do we have? 2. So that represents 20. And how many ones do we have? 7. And 20 plus 7 equals 27. Okay, so that's the easy part. But now, let's use the decimal point. Now what number do you see? 27.4. Okay, so now we've got a decimal point and one decimal number. 27.4 is a decimal number. It has one decimal place. You can see how many numbers after the decimal point? 1. So we've got one decimal place. And the first decimal place, not tens, we have tens here. And it's, can we say, tenths? Notice TH. So the first point, the first place after the decimal point, tenths. And you can see here it's represented as 0.4. Yes, 4 tenths equals 0.4. But now let's add another decimal number. What number can you see in red now?
27.43.
Excellent. 27.43. 27.43 is a decimal number. It has 2 decimal places. Okay, so we know already about the 4. The 4 represents tenths, as in 0.4. But another number after the tenths is the hundredths. Okay? We go from tenths to hundredths. How many hundredths can we see, guys? 3. You can see here we have the number 3 in the hundredths place. So when we write that as a decimal number, 0.03. Notice Each number after the decimal point gets an extra digit 0. Now, we'll do one more decimal place. So far, we have tenths, hundredths. Can anybody guess what comes next? Thousandths. Well done. What number can you see in red now?
27.438.
Perfect. Excellent, guys. Very well read. 27.438 is a decimal number. It has 3 decimal places. So the 4 is the tenths, 0.4. 3 is the hundredths, 0.03. And 8 is the thousandths. Can we say thousandths, guys? Yes. And the value of 8 thousandths, 0.008. Yes. Notice how every time after the decimal point, an extra 0 gets added. They're very small numbers. Understand? Okay, let's do one more together. Let's start with our whole number. What can you see? 30. Very easy. No decimal points, so no decimal numbers. 30 is a whole number. It has no decimal places. All we have are tens and ones. How many tens can you see? 3 tens. How many zeros? 0. So we have 3 tens and 0 zeros, 30. Okay, that's our whole number. Now we'll do our decimals. Now what number can you see? Okay, so what does the 5 represent? Not tens. Tenths. Excellent. And you see it's written after the decimal point as 0.5. Tenths. Let's add another decimal number. What can you see?
30.57.
Excellent. 30.57 is a decimal number. It has 2 decimal places. Okay, so we know the 5 is the tenths. What's the 7? Hundredths. And we add an extra 0, so the hundredths is represented as 0.07. Every time after the decimal point, the number gets smaller. So we have to add an extra 0 for the place value. And then the final one, what's our number now? 30.571 is correct. 30.571 is a decimal number. It has 3 decimal places. Okay, so what value is the 1 in this number? Not tenths, not hundredths, thousandths. Excellent. You see, all we need to do is just count the place value after the decimal point. And for thousandths, we have 4 digits. So it's 0.001. Every time for the place value after the decimal point, we add another 0. Tens, 2 digits, 0.5. Hundredths, 3 digits, 0.07. And then thousandths, 4 digits, 0.001. Understand, guys? That was excellent. Very well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation so that they can begin to understand about the place value of decimal numbers. And remember, decimal numbers always come after the decimal point. And for each different place value, we have to add an extra zero or digit. We start with tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And we've got a flashcards exercise coming up soon for our students to practice writing the correct place values. Well, first of all, guys, time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we'll begin by walking on the spot. Stop. Jogging on the spot. Stop. Walking on the spot again. Jogging on the spot. Quickly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Turn left. Turn left again. Turn left. And left. Hello. Jogging on the spot. Stop. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Hello. And to finish, we're going to do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. Okay, so what we've got coming up now is a flashcard exercise for our students to practice writing the correct place value of decimal numbers. But what we'll do to help them, before we introduce the flashcards, we'll write the different place values on the board again. So first of all, we'll begin with the whole number. The first whole number that we'll be looking at what can we see? Tens, okay? We'll have 2-digit whole numbers. So the first one, tens. Then guys, what's smaller than tens that we've seen in the PowerPoint? Tenths, ones. Excellent. Okay, now what separates our whole numbers from our decimal numbers? I'll give you a clue. It looks like this. What type of point? Decimal point, yes. So remember, next comes our decimal point. So now, after our decimal point, we're looking at our decimal numbers. And what's the first decimal number? Tenths. Remember, tenths. Because we don't want it to sound like tens, it's tenths. And we spell T-E-N-T-H-S. Okay, now, who can remember what the second digit for our decimal numbers is? Hundredths. Very good. H-U-N-D-R-E and then T-H-S. Hundredths. Good way to practice your th. And then finally, our third decimal number. Thousandths. T-H-O-U-S-A-N-D. T-H-S. So let's say them all together, guys. First of all, the whole numbers. Tens, ones, then comes our decimal point. So our decimal numbers, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Brilliant. Now we're ready to begin. So teachers, what you need to do for this lesson is print off the flashcards and cut each of the decimal numbers into different strips. Fold them and then place them into a bowl. It should look like this when you're finished. A bowl or a tray with the different strips of paper folded up inside. What we're going to do is we're going to ask students to come forward and choose a strip of paper. Then they need to write their decimal number on the board. And what they'll see is one of the numbers has been underlined. our students need to tell us the place value of their underlined number. Okay, guys? So we want to know the place value of the underlined number. So now I need my first student to come forward. And I would like to invite Prau. Prau, come and join me at the front of class, please. And Prau gets first pick of all the numbers. So choose one. Okay, and show it to your friends.
27.438.
Okay, so first of all, Prau, can I ask you to write that number on the board? 27, anywhere you want. 27.438. And then notice that the 7 is underlined. So underline the 7, please, Prau. Okay, so all together, guys, what's Prau's decimal number? 27.438. So now, Prau, look at your number. Can you tell me the place value of the 7?
1.
Correct. You see, by looking at the different place value totals, we can see the 2 is tens. The 7, as Prau correctly said, is the ones. And then we have our decimal point that brings us the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. So Prau, that was excellent. Very well done. High five and a big round of applause for Prau, please, guys. Okay, so now we need our next student and another decimal number. Well, first of all, I'll clean the board. And this time, I would like to invite Chu. Chu, come and join me at the front of class, please. Chu gets second pick at the decimal numbers. So Chu, pick anyone you want and show it to your friends. So this time we have 16.034. Okay, so Chu, first of all, can you write your number on the board, please? Can you write your number on the board? Yes? So 1, 6, 0, 3, 4. And then notice too, 1 is underlined. So underline your 1. Okay, so let's see, by looking at our place values, what number is the 1? What place value? What do you think, Chu? Look at the 1, and what do you think the place value is? Look at your table. Tens, correct. Okay, you don't need to do anything, you're fine. All you need to know is that the 1 is underlined and it represents the tens. Okay, so one more time, Chu. Tens. Excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Chu, please, guys. So teachers, you can see the activity that we're doing in our classroom now. You can pause the video and play on with your own students for the next 10 to 12 minutes. There's 6 different flashcards in total, so have a different student choose each one and come forward and practice answering the question of the underlined digit. And we're going to play on further here. But first of all, I'll clean the board. Okay, so time for our next student. Now, I would like to invite Nadia. Nadia, come and join me, please. And stand there for me. Okay, so now Nadia's turn to choose a number and show it to your friends. So what number can we see here, guys?
10.284.
Excellent. So Nadia, first thing to do, can you write this number on the board? We've got 10.2. Correct. Now notice the 4 is underlined. So Nadia, underline the 4. Okay, now have a look at our table. What place value is the 4? Thousands, correct. You can see that the 4 is the third of the decimal numbers. Tenths is represented by 2, hundredths represented by 8. So Nadia, what does the 4 represent? Thousands is correct. High five and a big round of applause for Nadia. That was excellent. Well done, Nadia. Okay, and now for our next student. And this time, I would like to invite Pat. Come and join me at the front of class, please. And stand here for me. And now it's Pat's turn to choose his number. Okay. And once again, show it to your friends. What number can we see, guys? 11 point. Excellent. So, Pat, first of all, can you write your decimal number on the board? 11.980. Now notice the first number 1 is underlined. So now we're asking Pat to tell us what place value is the first 1 in our decimal number. Look at your chart. What will the first number represent? Not 1, look again. You've got 1 here, so see? Tens. You see the first 1 represents the tens. The second 1 represents the ones. Then comes our decimal point, then our tenths, hundredths, and thousands. So one more time, Pat, what does this number represent? Tens. Excellent. Well done, Pat. High five and a big round of applause for Pat, please, guys. And now for our next student. And now it's the turn of Pak Bung. Come and join me at the front of class, please. And stand here for me. Okay, so Pak Bung, choose your number and show it to your friends. What number can we see, guys? 32.189. So first of all, Pak Bung, can you write your number on the board? 32.189. And what number is underlined, guys? 1. Okay, so we underline the 1. And now, Pak Bung, can you tell me what place value does the 1 represent? Perfect. You can see the 1 is the first number after the decimal point. So the 1 represents the tenths. Pak Bung, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Pak Bung, guys. Okay, we've got one more flashcard. And luckily, we've got one more student. So now, it's the turn of Net. Net, come and join me at the front, please. And you can stand here and pick the final number and show it to your friends. This time we have 99.232. Okay, so first thing, Net, can you write this number on the board? 99.232. Now, which number is underlined, guys? 3. So let's underline the 3. Okay, so now look at our table, Net. Can you tell me what place value does the 3 represent? What do we think? Look at our decimal point. Our decimal point is here. So the 2 will be the tenths. The 3 will be the, can you say, hundredths? Hundredths. Excellent. So one more time, the 3 represents hundredths. Net, that was very well done. High five and a big round of applause for Net, please, guys. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, what you'll need to do is print out a worksheet for each of the students in your class. And what our students have to do, similar to the flashcard exercise, is they have to look at the numbers. And what they have to do is, in particular, look at the underlined digit. And then using the table that we have on the board, our students have to write the correct place value for each of the underlined digits in the spaces provided. So remember, guys, we'll either have, if it's the first digit, tens, ones, then comes the decimal point. So remember, after the decimal point, tenths, and then the second digit, hundredths, and the third digit, okay, so have a look at your underlined digit and write the correct place value in the space provided. And give our students around 10 to 12 minutes for this activity. What's the first thing we need to do, guys? Names on top. Okay, so Ned, this one's for you. You're welcome. Pat, here's yours. You're welcome. Nadia, for you. You're welcome. Chu, this one's for you. You're welcome. Prao, here's yours. You're welcome. Pak Bangpon, for you. And Lakgao, for you. Okay, so have a look at each underlined digit, guys. And if you need any help, let me know. But all the vocabulary you need is on the board behind me. If it's the first digit, it's tens. If it's the second digit, ones. Then comes our decimal point. If it's the first digit after the decimal point, tenths. The second digit, hundredths. And then the third digit, thousandths. So write the correct words to show that you understand the place value of each underlined digit. And if you need any help, let me know. So Chu, on number 1, what number is underlined? What number can you see underlined? 2. And 2 is the first digit. So our first digit in our numbers is the tens. So the 2 represents tens. Excellent, Ned. Well done. And then we have to have a look. So the 3 is the second digit. Ones. Well done. Bless you. Well done, Preo. Bang Bon, that's excellent. Lakgao, brilliant, well done. Yes. And then correct. Okay, Pat. So we've got the tens, correct, ones. Then what's the first number after our decimal point? We have our decimal point, and then the first number is tenths. You see? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Excellent. Pak Bong. Well done, Nadia. Okay, Ned. Very good. Except the last digit, S. See? S, S, S. Perfect. Well done, Prel. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to look at the different decimal numbers and concentrate on the underlined digit and then write the correct place value in the spaces provided, either tens, ones, tenths, hundredths or thousandths. And my students here all did an excellent job, so that was very well done, guys. And that's the end of today's lesson. So we hope you've enjoyed it and now understand more about the place value of decimal numbers. And we'll recap one more time. So all together, guys, we begin with tens, ones, then comes our decimal point. The first number after the decimal point, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And this exercise is a very good way to practice your TH sound. Th. And we'll see you again in the next lesson. So can we all turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Goodbye. Bye for now.